the use of false reports as a weapon by criminals and abusers intentionally to use police, use your authority, your badge. And I was arrested the other day and put to jail by a false report.
Okay. So, and I get what you're saying, but how can I explain it? Not me, but the powers above me decide.
They decide, and I know why. Now that you've come to this level, right here, I tell you why the powers above you deciding. This is the very top deciding. This Mike Villardi there, the squatter who was in my house, occupying my house, a month after she moved in, contacted Mike Villardi.
Who is he? Is he worked at the RS? Is he what, a politician? What is
he was running for Congress. She was her Facebook page, right there. Justine Taylor, yes. They both from Palm Beach, Florida. She's a Facebook friend of his. He's motivated. When you go to his page, there's a lot of 9/11 posts. He's motivated against people who look like me. A lot of police officers here are veterans of the wars of Iraq and Afghanistan. So Justine intentionally targets people who are Middle Eastern because a lot of cops hate Middle Eastern people because they're veterans of the wars of Afghanistan and Iraq. So does he, Mike Villardi. Mike Villardi, you look at his page, he has a lot of women that look like her, look like porn stars, the Trump supporters, they hate immigrants, they hate Muslims, they hate Arabs, and every time she would call and make a false report, she would say Arab. When I'm Armenian, I'm Christian, my mom, she's the way she is because we're survivors of the genocide. It's corruption here. You guys are being used, your authority is being used to make attacks on Middle Eastern people. And you don't want to face that. That's why you're talking the way you're doing always. That's why you're preventing solution to 7 years problem we've had in that property and 4 years problem I've had on her other property because you guys are trying to seize her because she has that mental disorder and I'm her child. You want to seize her property.
I want to seize her property?
Yes, the police station does. And that's another method you use. I have nothing to do with it. That's another station. That's another guy. You're all working together, and I know you know it's wrong. That's why you're covering it up. You wouldn't be covering up if you didn't know it's wrong. And you're using cover-up method. Every one of you do the runaround. You say, go talk to him, go talk to him, go talk to him. I didn't do it. We're doing it because we don't write the laws, we just enforce them. You're responsible for what you do. If the laws are making you do something wrong or a politician is making you're the one doing it. You can claim your whistleblower protection rights and report what you know is wrong. All the people you've done this to, you do seize people's properties, you are motivated by hate, you do abuse your authority anytime you get it, you have agenda to do so. You do know about corruption here, and you have any dignity in you, you have any obligation to the truth, to the Constitution, you will claim your whistleblower protection rights to protect you from lawsuit and from prosecution. Report all the people you've done this to, all these methods that you're using right now, that I've seen all cops use. All of these methods to block communication. You had your chance to say it. It's my turn to say it. I didn't do it. All of these I've heard for 4 years over and over again because you know you're doing wrong and you want to cover up the corruption, the reason, your motivation because you hate Middle Eastern people and you attack them.
You said I hate them?
You were in Iraq and Afghanistan, weren't you? Don't you hate what they did? They did 9/11. Don't you? A lot of Americans do, don't they? That would motivate them to hate. They can't do a concentration camp. It wouldn't look good. They do it in a covert way, which is what this is. They disguised it as a tenant-landlord dispute. to hurt me, and in every crime that's been committed against me, they're refusing to prosecute, just like you just said today. They decide, the higher-ups decide whether to prosecute or not. They cherry pick which ones to prosecute.
Okay.
The ones that are attacking me, all the false reports against me, made by Justine Taylor at her address, at my address over there, all the false reports, and you choosing intentionally not to take those reports. Why? Because it doesn't fit your agenda.
Okay.
The criminals attacking me is in your favor.
What is my agenda?
To cover up, right now, I spoke to you. If you didn't have an agenda, you would acknowledge the truth in what I'm telling you. There's 2 police stations involved because she has 2 properties. You understand? That's where she was targeted initially.
Okay.
Squatters, scammers go after the vulnerable. So she knows she has mental disorder. She has 2 properties. Cha-ching, cha-ching, right? And she's Middle Eastern, and she has that condition, and I'm her son, right? That's why she targeted her, because then she got Mike Velati's support because she's Middle Eastern.
Okay.
And I'm Middle Eastern, right?
Okay.
So cops, a lot of them, as I told you, are veterans. A lot of them, you see on video, I have video Sergeant Lafferty here, when I came to ask for the name of the judge, came out here scolding me. A lot of them were scolding me when I was calling, they were being called at the other address with the squatter. So why would they scold me if they don't have hatred for me?
Right. So last time I went to your mom's house and I put her on a hold because obviously she's elderly, right?'s having mental issues. She had moldy food, right? Her refrigerator didn't work, and nobody was taking care of her. And then my sergeant contacted you on the phone and spoke with you. Could you recall that?
Yeah.
And then,
it happens daily.
Hold on. So you gotta let me finish, sir. So he contacted you to speak with you, right? And we spoke to you over the phone, and we asked you we asked for your help, if you can come down and look after your mom.
Yeah.
And you said no, you were not gonna come. So you left it up on us to try to help your mother because you refused to come. Do you remember that?
So do you remember why I told you why I refused to come?
Because you said you didn't want to come because
when I go over there, she calls you and says I'm trespassing. Right. I have on video saying he's trespassing. She's hitting me.
We also explained to you that we were there, that wasn't going to happen, right?
What wasn't going to happen?
She wasn't going to hate you or make anything up about you, right? So
she does that daily.
Right.
She's saying she's not going to do that means nothing. She'll tell she's not. I have her on video hitting me constantly, yelling at me. She wants me there so she can torture me. That's her condition. It's called Munchausen by proxy, right. And people are exploiting that.
So I don't know what's going on her property, but
I'm telling you what's going on. I have the whole YouTube channel about it.
Okay.
That's her condition. She's had that the whole life.
Okay.
She has us. Listen, it's important you understand.
She's your mother.
She's my mother. But she's the kind of mother, you gotta understand this point. Munchausen by proxy, look up Doll syndrome, first one. You have, you gotta have this one point you gotta understand.
So you came here wanting us to make her calling us all the time a criminal offense so she can get evicted out of her home?
No.
Because you're the primary beneficiary of the home?
No. So she can follow out the promise she made to the judge when you took her to court the first time to sell that house. I have property with the proceeds of the sale of that house out of town, away where there's no neighbors.
So you understand? I do understand. What I understand is
there's no malicious purpose there at all.
What I understand is you want us to prosecute her for calling you 911 all the time.
Yeah.
So she can see the judge.
Yeah. So
she can sell the house and you benefit from it.
Why am I benefiting?
Because you said you were the beneficiary for the house.
Either way, I'm the beneficiary. It would not make a difference. It is not that the only thing it would change.
So you're trying to use us to have her sell the house.
Listen to me.
So you can
listen to me.
That's what it sounds like.
Listen to me.
I'm listening. That's what it sounds like.
Listen to me. Maybe it's because of that misunderstanding that you're not cooperating. Whether she's in a new house that's away from, it's going to be nature, out of the city, out of that, away from that neighbor that she's had 7 years of trauma calling about, right? So if she's a new location that has no neighbors, and I've been talking to David Wynn, the realtor, because I think that's the misconception. Either way, if it's the proceeds of that sale of that house go to a new property that's away from this, either way, that's my house. That's not benefiting me. That's not out of malicious purpose or greedy purpose. That's what she would go out of there, so she wouldn't be keep calling you, and she wouldn't be bothering the neighbors.
We don't mind her calling us. That's what we get paid for.
Also, you doing it so you get paid for it,
No,
because you're never helping about it. That's why you're doing it.
We get paid for.
You get paid for going there and doing nothing. Exactly, right?
We get
the
paid.
truth comes out finally.
Wow. You don't
want her moving because you profit from her calling you every day. The truth came out. You just said it.